Greetings, everybody. You know, the September school meeting that took place just last week on the 17th provided even more evidence that adding 3 new people to the board might be a pretty good idea. I'm John Muka, and I'm running for election to the board, along with my partners Jessica Trombino and Kyle Chadwick. And here I want to show you what happens when routine and reasonable questions are raised by members of the public on millions of dollars of spending about to be approved by the board. Now, what you'll see in these clips, we begin with a main focus on Mr. Richard Kanka, who's going to report on facilities improvement projects. And buried in there is some words about the pools conversion project. The agenda actually calls for approving $1.7 million to start the first phase of this conversion. Now, he doesn't actually mention that number as he addresses the board. And the real problem is, once the work begins on demolishing the existing pools at West and Steinert, there's going to be at least another $10 million of spending needed for actual completion. That's not what's being voted on tonight, but it will come due in the future. So it's a potential of $12 million of tax increases that we might be faced with.
Phase 1 of our pool conversions, the vendor agreed to negotiate after 2 failed bids and updated the award that will be awarded in September. The updated award will be added to the September meeting, which is tonight. There was a negotiation of $174,000 in savings from the bid, and the schedules will be developed for the construction. The estimates are time frame is 4 to 6 months. And I will add to this, this money will be coming out of capital reserve. There seems to have been some confusion over the past several months where the money's coming from. Capital reserve.
Now, it would be reasonable to be sure the board understands these consequences. That would be informed consent. It's actually the reason there's a public hearing segment before voting takes place at each meeting. But that only works if someone is asking the right questions. And I really pushed hard on doing that and trying to get some of those answers in the clip you're about to see. Good evening, everybody. My name is John Muka. I'm a lifelong Hamilton resident, and I'm a candidate for the school board in this fall's election. A couple of routine questions here. I'd like to follow up on the report that Mr. Kanka did and what you're voting on for the pools project. So that's $1.7 million for this phase. So my question is, do we know what it's going to eventually cost for the completion of all the things that have to be done?
Can you continue, Mr. Muka? We'll get those questions answered for you.
Well, I would like to impose on you a little bit to maybe try to get an answer right now, since we have 20 minutes here and I'm the only one coming to the microphone.
And unfortunately, as per the rules, each individual has 4 minutes. So I don't want to take away your time, so please continue with any other questions.
I'm not asking for more time. I'm just asking to engage in answering a question. Now, it used to be about a $10 to $12 million project when we were seeking the bonds that didn't come through. And I'm just wondering, is it still a $12 to $13 million project? And what is going to happen with the Crockett facility in terms of the community pools or whatever was going to go in there? Is that still in the planning and in our future, or is it not?
Please continue. I'm writing down all your questions so that we can get them answered for you.
Well, President Thornton, we can waive these rules at any time that you want. So why don't we waive the rules for 30 seconds and just answer the question as to what's happening in the future?
Please continue with your questions.
All right, well, another routine question. We have something that's being voted on tonight, the appointment EDP paraprofessional list. That's item number 3, I think, under personnel. There's about 100 names on this list. And of course, a reasonable question would be, what is the total for all of this extra money that's being approved?
Please continue.
Can you waive the rules and just get an estimate?
Sir, I'm going to follow the NJ School Board's rules and protocols on how to administer a school board meeting, and this is your time to ask the questions. It's not a back and forth. I do not want to take away any more of your time, so please, if you have any other questions, continue.
Well, there's only two ways to get the question answered, and that is for you to waive the rules, or else a member of the school board would have to make a motion and raise the question and get the answer. So I turn to our representatives on the school board, and I ask one or more of you to take your responsibilities seriously and ask some of these questions for the good of the community. And that's what you're here for, to be the ones that ask these questions, because as a member of the public, it's against the rules. So I thank you for your time. I hope you'll take that suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Muka.
Now, President Thornton will not just turn to Mr. Kanka and ask him the question. Rather, she has the lawyer, Mr. Carey, go over the rules. And notice he's careful to say that this is all guidance and advice. He doesn't really say that it's actually law. And I've been there for 3 years, so I already know what the rules are supposed to be. And while he was talking, I walked back up to the microphone thinking I might get a chance to get involved with a discussion. But instead, they turned the microphone off and they zoomed in on the lawyer, and you can see what happens next.
So I'm just going to take a moment because, Mr. Muka, you did bring up some points in regards to why we do not have a question and answer. And I'm actually going to ask Mr. Carrig, our board attorney, to please reply and just give you a little background on that.
So the New Jersey School Boards Association is a publicly created entity that all public school boards in New Jersey are a member of. They promulgate guidance, directives, training, and assist school board members in the administration of their duties. They have on their website information, what is proper protocol for public participation. This is specifically what they say. Comments from citizens generally go through the chair at the board meeting, usually the board president. Boards use the public comment period as an opportunity to listen to citizen concerns, but not to debate issues or enter into a question and answer session or a cross-examination between the public and individual members. That is what the training and guidance is with respect to public comment. So it's the time for public commenters to come up, express their views. They can ask questions, but the standard operating procedure for district boards of education is to document those questions, provide them to the appropriate administrator or superintendent, and then have it filtered through the appropriate people to then respond to the person from the public so that their questions are answered in a full way, rather than stopping the meeting or stopping the action in the meeting to go through what can often be something that requires quite a lot of detail and may also require a lot of review of information. And so this is the training that board members receive. This is the advice that we provide to all the districts that I represent, and it's consistently applied throughout New Jersey. So that's why it goes on this way.
Thank you, Mr. Carrig.
So this is out of order now. So if you could please take your seat, sir. Sir,
Mr.
you are
Muka,
not.
please take your seat. You had your time to speak. If you'd like to come back up on the second hearing of the public, you're more than welcome to. Thank you. We're going to move on to Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation?
Sure. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, I move finance and operation motions 1 through 11.
Second.
Okay, do I have any questions in regards to finance and operation agenda items? Dr. McSheen?
No.
Dr. Ferrara?
No.
Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Harvey?
No, thank you.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Mr. Kanka? Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call?
Dr. Farrar,
Yes.
Harvey,
I abstain on finance motion number 9, purchase order 2604133. Yes to the rest.
Yes.
Dr. McSheen,
Yes.
Stanton,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, none of the board members took their approved option, the chance they had. They could have asked any of the questions that I was asking and more about the $1.7 million item and what it be connected to in the future. So if you vote for these incumbents, this is the kind of representation you'll keep getting. They don't show any care about informed consent or exerting true home rule over our schools, even when substantial amounts of money are being approved. And of course, throughout this whole meeting, the topic of our bottom third performing schools and the 7.46 percentile performance of Grice, well, that never comes up. All right, so let's fast forward to my second chance to address the board and see what happens. Now, the reason I ask about the pools is because in April and May of 2023, I sat in these board meetings when a $30 million project for a pre-K building was being approved to be proposed to get funding. And then 2 years later, it suddenly appeared again, and we were supposed to get state money, we were supposed to get funding, and it didn't work out. But at the time, in May of 2023, some conversation with the public might have helped put together a much better proposal that would have been funded, and we would be building it now. So when I asked the school board members to bring these questions up before you take the vote, and none of you brought up any of the questions for a potentially $13 million project, I would have to ask why we have 4 swimming coaches in this approved money tonight. What are they doing? They don't have pools. So there's another question to be asked. Now, I can't get any answers here, but you members of the board should be asking those questions on behalf of me and other people in the community. They're asking the same questions. And I'm wondering when you're going to do that. And President Thornton and Dr. Rocco, you make the agenda for each of these meetings. A simple commitment to make this an agenda item for discussion at the next meeting would be most appreciated. Are you able to do that right now?
I do not have the agenda for next month, sir.
Yes, but at some point you will be making the agenda for the next month. So can you commit to putting this as an agenda item for discussion? No, probably not. Now, Mr. Carrick, is there a law against the questions that I asked tonight being answered in the next school board meeting?
Sir, I answer to the Board of Education.
All right, it would just seem reasonable to people in the community like myself that at the next board meeting, some of these questions should be addressed. So once again, it's your choice in November. We need your help to put 3 new people on the board. We need you to spread the word and get involved in our campaign. We need to generate a lot of votes, and word of mouth is the way we need to do it. Now along those lines, Jessica, Kyle, and I myself would love the chance to talk to you in person about our campaign. So please join us this Sunday at Veterans Park, Sunday afternoon, September 21st from 1 to 4 p.m. We'll be on the Steinert side of the park, right next to the swings and where all the kids' rides are. There's a pavilion there, and we're going to serve you some free pizza on the house from the campaign, along with drink boxes and snacks. It's just a chance to get together in kind of a relaxed way and talk a little bit about what the campaign is about. And of course, on Monday, September 29th, we'll be back at the Hamilton Library from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's a Monday evening, and you can meet us again or bring some other people to find out more of why we are running for the board and what we intend to do. And also keep in mind, October the 9th, Candidates Night is sponsored by the Hamilton Township Community Supporting Education. And there you'll see all 5 of the candidates in one room together having a discussion about what's best for Hamilton. My advice is, don't let the not-so-great 8 turn into the unanimous 9 in this election. Look forward to seeing you soon.